And we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of Trent and Ean Talking, where Trent and Ean talk about random things that interest us.
Indeed we do. We talk about things.
It's the New Year's episode, first episode of 2021.
Ooh-wee.
Beautiful. We finally made it, ladies and gentlemen.
Trent?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you since, last year. Literally. It's been, 6 months. No. When was our last?
Oh, it's been a long...
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm old. You're old,
We're
too.
so old.
Gross.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Hope
Year.
you had a great new year. Hope everyone's resolutions are working out so far.
Do you have any resolutions? I didn't make any.
I'm not actually a big resolution guy. I kind of don't believe in resolutions.
Because you're perfect as you are.
That's incorrect. No, I'm just my theory on it is why wait until this day? And I'm the last person we should talking about this. I procrastinate all the time. But
Right.
if you want to lose weight or get stronger, start working out, or whatever your resolution is, just start it today.
It's just another day.
Yeah, it's kind of what I did. I used to run a lot, and I kind of stopped running. And now I'm trying to work out, build muscle. And I started a month ago. I was like, why wait until New Year's? I'm going to lose a month of progress. Let's just start it today,
Just go ahead and start. That's a really good mindset to have, Trent. And I do agree with you. It's it is just a landmark, but still there is something magical about it. It just feels fresh for some reason. And I mean, it might be my dum-dum coming out, but I do feel a little energized. Yesterday was the first, today's the second. Yesterday, me and my dad built more of the underside of our house.
Ooh.
I mean, it didn't really feel like a new year, but just starting it off, doing something super productive, just kind of got me in an upbeat.
Well, it's also if that works for you, right? If you're okay, I need to start on this day, that's fantastic. It's just not how I go about it, but it's a great way to do it. If you're okay, on January 1st, this begins. That's it's accountability,
Exactly.
And if that helps with it, go for it.
It's nice to take responsibility for yourself, and I think that any way you do it is good enough.
There you go.
But so I guess we'll talk about New Year's stuff.
Yeah.
So I did go out. I went to Lily's aunt's house. Just some close family. Everybody was cool and safe, and it rained. Speaking of rain, I've been meaning to tell you this. I've been saving it for the podcast. We were counting down to midnight, and they were going to set off a bunch of fireworks. The second it became the new year, it poured down.
Really?
A cleansing rain. And everybody ran into the garage. I stood out in it. I said, screw it, man. I'm not taking any more from 2020. This is a cleansing rain.
Just embrace it,
I started singing, We're Not Gonna Take It. And Lily's grandpa started singing it with me. I've never felt so part of the family.
That's awesome.
What'd you do?
For mine, I stayed home. It's just me and my parents. New Year's for me, unless there's other people and friends, it's not really a big deal. It's more about the party than the actual celebration of the year.
Right.
So I went down. I saw the ball drop, and we're watching on TV. I think we were watching it on CNN, and they had this woman I've never heard of singing this song called "Imagine." The saddest ballad ever. Sad, slow. And then the song ended, and that led into the minute countdown until midnight. Who decided to end 2020 on a sad song? Isn't New Year's is a celebration? Give me some pump up jams, I think on another channel they had J-Lo perform, which would have been cool. We just happened to have this one on.
That one was neat.
Yeah, this one was just the slowest song ever. I was like, what are we watching? And then the ball dropped and everyone was cheering, and then they led into another sad song. I was like, what is the energy in the studio right now?
I do not vibe.
It's just not vibing with it. No.
What is it you say?
I don't like the energy we've created in the studio.
Yep, that's it.
I got that from a friend, actually.
That phrase.
It's very funny.
I love it. Another thing that happened, so Lily and I did drink while we were over there. So we stayed the night because I don't like driving
Boom.
after I drink
Responsible.
at all. Like, even if I just have a sip, I will not go anywhere.
No,
I
that's a safe way to do it.
So we fell asleep, we conked out, and she had to get up early to go to work, or actually I had to bring her to work. So we slept hard through the night. We woke up in the morning, and her aunt was like, "Did you guys wake up from the fire alarm last night?" And we were like, "What are you talking about?" We heard no such thing. So apparently, they brought in the fireworks that didn't detonate because they didn't want to clean up wet cardboard from the driveway. They brought it in the garage, like smart people. And they went off at like 3 in the morning, burned through a wicker chair, and put some holes in their garage door.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't like a small one, it was one of the big ones. One of the big honkers.
Jeez.
Yeah, we saw that seat was gone. Oh,
That's
man.
very interesting.
It was funny. I didn't really say anything when I left, but I was like, oh my gosh.
Yikes. That's scary.
Kind of like one of the big no-nos. You leave undetonated fireworks outside.
Undetonated anything, usually don't bring into the house.
Fair. It was a garage.
Fair, yeah.
Still, that could have been a house fire, which isn't very good.
It's true.
But it happened, it's gone, and now I want to open gifts because...
Dude, it's been forever.
It's been so painful to get this package.
So you mailed me your package like early December, and it got to me like December 15th-ish, right?
It was like 2 days. 2-day shipping, which is what it says on the package.
Boom. Then I shipped mine to you with 2-day shipping on the 21st, and I knew it probably wasn't going to get there for Christmas. I was okay with it arriving after Christmas or whatever, but it arrived today.
Yes.
Today's January 2nd.
You delivered it on the 19th. Or like you sent it out on the 19th.
I think was it 19th or 21st? It was one of the two.
I think it was
right
the
around
19th.
the 20th.
Because that's when the tracking code was made.
Oh, really?
So I figured that it was.
That's like 2 weeks.
The 19th. It was 2 weeks. So your package is a liar. It says priority mail today. So I sent you a video. I corrected it.
Yep.
If you saw that, yeah, I scribbled out the day and wrote week in Sharpie.
Yep. Fair.
That was pretty funny.
Well, and so we were tracking it for a long time, and it ended up like finally updating us that it was in Florida. And what was interesting, I told my mom, I was like, oh, turns out my package is finally in Florida. And she goes, that's weird. The cookies that I sent your grandma are also in Florida. My grandmother lives in upstate New York. And the cookies are now in Springfield, Mass. Again. We shipped them from Mass. They went down to Florida. They're back up in Mass. Now stale. Going to my grandmother's house.
Yum.
What a waste of shipping.
Tasty. You couldn't drop it off here. I couldn't grab one.
Hey, you know?
I could have drove over.
Unfortunately not.
Might as well have.
Right? But yeah, now they're not even good cookies anymore.
And then one final little kick in the butt from the USPS.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I woke up at like 10 or so, and I checked the package because I figured it would come in today. It said it was delivered at 9:30, and I was like, oh, sick, I'm going to go look for it. And I looked, and I looked. I continued to look, and I didn't stop looking until an hour later when some dude rolled up in his little Toyota Corolla and said, hey, I've got your package here. And I said, yeah, but where were you an hour ago? And he said, I didn't talk to you, you're just making this part up. But, yeah, they delivered it an hour late.
Wow.
So, but it's here now.
We finally got them. We'll open them, why not?
Right, so, I'm going to flip a coin.
Who goes first? Yep.
I'm going to flip a coin. I want you to call it in the air. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Heads. Give me that money.
It's tails.
Bro, have I gotten one right since the beginning of the podcast?
I think so. We need to do one every podcast to see
I know.
if you...
I think I've gotten it wrong almost every time.
Just
That's a problem in school too. Is when I'm on exams. Like exams have usually there are 4 different sections depending on what's on the exam, but there'll be true and false, multiple choice, short answer, and essays. Those are like the 4 versions of questions.
Yeah.
And my worst by far, true and false. Like it's not even. I'll get like 40%. No, I'll get like 40% of them right. Even when I like know the answers, it's worse than half.
That's dumb.
Right, I'm so bad at it.
That's a dumb moment.
So you open yours up.
I'm going for it.
And let me know what's inside. I'm actually really curious.
Oh, you don't know?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I freaking did it, dude.
You did it.
I created the idea.
Okay. What is this? Sir.
Do you see? So what? Describe what you are visualizing. Currently.
So let me turn it right side up. I see a little picture here.
Yeah, a little
From
card,
the
if
very
you will.
beginning. Yup.
So yeah.
Sick.
So
that's
so
lovely.
I'll describe kind of what it is. So this isn't. So you pause gift opening. It's just a card part.
Yep.
Made a little PowerPoint thing where it says in the very beginning, and I put our very first messages we ever sent to each other, which were we have a duty now to get to platinum, which we are very in Rocket League. And then you said agreed, and then I said, I don't even remember the words. It was like, and for things to come, and it's a picture of a podcast, and it says like love you, bro, or something cheesy.
Yeah. That's
Just,
cheesy.
you know.
But
And I put it on like a
like
nice
cheese.
photo paper too, so it's all like classy, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably frame that. I love that.
There you go.
I'm gonna
But
frame
now,
that.
now for the main event. Okay,
Now-
now it's big.
You got me paper!
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. I love it.
Brown
I love
paper.
the merch is dropped, sir.
Oh yeah.
The merch is dropped.
The
Oh, I
merch.
love this.
So what Ian is holding in his hand right now is a white hoodie with our podcast logo on the
That's
front
sick.
of it.
I'm putting it on right now.
Put it. It should fit. I had
Hopefully so.
insider info on
Yeah?
sizing, according to Lily. So if it's wrong, it's her fault.
Oh
I take no
my
responsibility.
gosh. Okay, I'm gonna take off my headphones for a second.
Boom.
Put them to the
I'll
side. I've got
entertain
my
the people.
Polaroid hoodie on right now. That is off my hoodie.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna open
Is
yours,
now
but not
on.
look in it yet.
I am a walking advertisement. This is fantastic. Oh my gosh. I love it. Thank you, bro. This is
Hey,
awesome.
100%. I'm now removing the pounds of tape that you've added to yours.
The dude just started wrapping it because I did such a poor job. He's like, I gotta secure it.
He wasn't vibing with your wrapping job here.
He was not.
All right, I see some blue foam. I apologize.
that-
This is loud.
A little extra. There,
Yeah.
that's
haven't-
soundproofing foam.
Oh, fun. I haven't actually opened it yet because I'm having much trouble. Oh, I see. You did the funky like side thing. Okay, I see what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Boom. This might be loud. Hold on. Really being delicate here.
Be delicate.
All right, she's open. She's open. Got
All
some
right.
lots. Ooh, lots of. Ooh, okay.
A lot of it.
Soundproof. This is very foamed up. Bubble wrap. This is very
Yep.
like secure.
I had to be secure
this
with
is
it.
this is the lame, sad bubble wrap that doesn't pop anymore.
I know. I'm sorry I had to
tragic.
do it to you.
No, they ruined it for you. It's not your fault. All right. How do I even pick this up? This is. Oh,
Yeah.
are
So let me
you-
explain what this is.
Are you kidding me?
I took up chainsaw carving
No
from
freaking
wood.
way.
we had a Hurricane Zeta, come by, and it knocked down a bunch of trees. And so what he's holding is a carving of his Minecraft character that I made from a log and painted myself. It's about a foot tall with a block of dirt. He is standing on a creeper head with a sword that moves. You can move it up and down.
The sword?
Yeah.
Dude, this is so unbelievably cool.
Now look at the bottom.
Alright, it says, "From your best bro, Ian. Me too's Trent and Ean 1 of 1. That's really funny. It's
Not
like
a
a
U-Too's.
U-Too's.
It's
It's a Me Too's. That's fantastic. That really is top notch. This is incredible.
Dude, it took me about 2 weeks to make that.
You
and
said it took 2 weeks, and I was like, what on earth took 2 weeks? But
Yep.
now I see it.
So I'm gonna send you a bunch of pictures because I took pictures of progress.
That's incredible.
I'm gonna send it through Discord to you real quick.
Right here?
Cause this was right here. Let me
Alright, let's see this.
go back
This
in
is
time here.
absolutely top notch.
So let's see. I gotta go back.
It's got little foam on the bottom so you can slide it around and stuff. Oh man.
So let's
And
see.
I've had that Minecraft skin for quite a while. It's kind of like
You have, and then I revamped
it's kind of
it.
just you added a little bit of layers to it.
So it started out. Let me see if I can find like a beginning photo. I cannot. Let
This
me
bubble
find
wrap
it.
is so sad. It really just why do they have to ruin it like that? You know? They don't pop anymore. I think it's like better for the environment though. I would assume it's like recyclable stuff.
Right.
But I don't even know. It is tragic.
Okay. So there's two of them. There's two of the
Alright.
update photos.
This is just
It's hefty.
it's got some weight to it. This is probably what 4 or 5 pounds.
It's
Maybe.
a log, bro.
That is a whole freaking log. Look at this. So what you did is you drew out the outline of it on each side, and then you started to carve it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. That really is.
I'm honestly surprised with how well it turned out.
It turned out so incredible.
So each pixel is a millimeter, I believe, or centimeter. It's a centimeter.
Centimeter makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Each pixel's a centimeter, and then I doubled the head size because I thought it'd be funny.
Oh, it looks perfect that way.
And I thought it looked really good. It's glazed over, so it should be protected. All the paint.
It is. It's nice and shiny. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
I added that little extra block on the head after I was finished because I was like, well, shoot, I think that would just look neat. And I inset
It does pull it all together.
Yeah. And then the sword I carved in like 15 minutes
Really?
from a stir stick, like a paint stir stick.
Huh.
Yeah. It just works.
That's legendary.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go, my guy. Oh,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are buying gifts for people, you now have a very high bar to match. If you
oh
are,
yeah. Oh yeah.
are trying to match us here, we are top notch.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm excited to wear this around and people will be like,
Oh,
"What are
this
you
is going
wearing?"
on every desk I ever own.
This is fantastic.
But
It smells so. It smells
it's
fresh.
nice. It's nice. But we do have more for this podcast.
Yes, we do.
That we got to get to because we are already like cruising through this.
We're
We're
blowing
at
through.
where are we at like the 20-minute mark almost.
It's not terrible, but I mean,
So-
awful. So it is.
Oh, yeah.
matches.
Exactly. But today's plan, Ian and I are going to talk about our top 5 games of all time.
5 games.
5 video games, and we have a couple of honorable mentions. But we're gonna go through them. Do we know who's going first?
Well, since I opened my gift first, I say you go first.
Okay, I
In this
can do that.
round.
All
Yeah.
right. So, actually I'll wait for the end to disclaimers. But my number 5 best game of all time is BioShock Infinite,
Okay.
and it's a game I've only played once, and I played it, I think, freshman year of college. It's like 3 years ago. And it is just, like, I remember it super well. Very, very fun. Story-driven, single-player. Took me, it's like 12 hours of gameplay, something like that. It's just smooth. It looks nice. It's got, like, a Borderlands cartoony feel. Cool enemies, very, like, not cyberpunk, what am I saying? Very, steampunk feel. It's a mix of fun. There's a good story behind it. The characters are well drawn. The art style is super cool. It's just a very fun story, and the mechanics are very smooth. And it's a game that I always think of when I think of my top games. So I had to put on the list. You know, it was just good, solid all around.
So what I remember of BioShock Infinite was the Tobuscus song of, what was it? It was the trailer for BioShock Infinite.
Oh, his little sing trailers, whatever.
Those little sing trailers. That's what I think of all the time. I've never actually played BioShock, any of them.
I've only ever played Infinite, but it's very, very good. So I recommend it if you have not. It is. It really is. I kind of want to play again. These are going to make me want to play these games again.
Absolutely.
But all right, you're up. Number 5 for you.
Numero 5-0 is, now this is going to make you laugh, it's Risk of Rain 2.
Okay, interesting.
Because I actually played the first Risk of Rain when it first came out.
That's true.
It was a side-scroller. The enemies were really neat. They were all the same from the original. They didn't make any new ones. They're all from the original game. Risk of Rain 2 is 3-dimensional, which is just mind-blowing for me.
It's very fun.
Because I played it in like middle schools when it came out for me. So
wow.
I played that for a while. I mean, I could never do it multiplayer, so it was always something I just played by myself. And now getting to play it with, well, I mean, you're the only one I really played it with. Other than
Risk of Rain 2 is now multiplayer, which is it's a blast.
Right. So much fun. I
should describe what these games are. So, like, BioShock Infinite's a first-person shooter, but like it's not just like Call of Duty. It's like got a lot of story, but it's like a Fallout vibe, but not the same art style or mechanics. But it's like a story-driven first-person with guns type of deal.
Yeah, and then Risk of Rain 1 is a side-scroller platformer. Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person platformer where you have to beat monsters and then you have to defeat a boss to go into the next stage, and everything is timed. For us, on normal difficulty, a session can go for about an hour and a half until things get way crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting how it works too, because you start the game always on easy, and the more the time goes by, the more difficult it gets. And so you can never be like, okay, I want to play on hard. You just start on easy every time, and it gets to hard.
I love the levels keep going.
Let me look at They're very fun because it goes hard, insane, impossible, and then it starts to get pretty fun. But yeah, it's one of those never-ending games. Technically, you could go forever, and then if you die, you just reset and try again. And you collect items that power you up along the way. It's very fun. There's different classes of characters you can play, different bosses, different worlds you can go to, different challenges to do during them.
I found the names of the difficulty. So
go for it.
It starts off very easy, medium, hard, very hard, insane, impossible, I see you, I'm coming for you, and then infinitely ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Wait, hold on, there's more. Ha.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
funny.
It's once you're in like ha 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 stage, it's just chaos because you have like all the items. There's just bosses everywhere. It's just very fun.
It is.
It's very. I have another honorable mention actually. Yeah. But it's very similar to other games that I will talk about when I mention my honorable mentions.
Yes. Okay, now 4 for you.
I'll talk about my 4. My 4 is actually 3 games in one. They're all part of the same series.
Okay.
Which is a Dishonored franchise. Dishonored is really fun. And each game, I think my favorite's Dishonored 2. Because it's like the newest and has really nice mechanics and looks nice. But I don't even remember like the plot line of it, but it's an interesting game. It's first person, and you have missions to either like take out somebody or like kidnap somebody, or there's like, you're almost like a mercenary trying to take down like corrupt government type of deal, and it's set back in like Renaissance-ish age. But there's also like magic involved and like runes, so you can like teleport very short distances and slow time. And it's a very stealth and like calculated game, and just very fun. So like enemies have like notice bars, so if you get too close they'll notice you. You need to be stealthy, and if you take down somebody you have to move them into another room so nobody finds them, and just work your way through a level. And there's different endings too, depending on if you kill people. So if you kill a ton of people, you get like the bad ending. If you kill a couple, you get an okay ending. And if you go the entire game non-lethal, then you get like a completely different ending. So it's kind of cool whether you want to go about it like guns blazing, which you can, or swords blazing, or you can go very stealth and non-lethally take out everybody you need to.
Right.
So it's super fun. All three games are really good.
That's tight.
Yeah, really cool graphics. Very again, the first game is older, so it's more cartoony, and the second game is more realistic. But they're very, very fun.
Nice. Speaking of cartoony, Guitar Hero 3 is my number 4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I
never owned a Guitar Hero.
Really?
But I've played before at like other people's houses. Yeah.
I had it on the Wii. And played that a lot. I love playing Guitar Hero, man. I still will get on my old Wii sometimes and play it, but my family would play it too. My sister, for some reason, never used the guitar. She'd always play like with the Wiimote. Somehow she was good at that. She could like easily breeze through medium. And like even my mom would play, and I remember she would always try to 100% Black Magic Woman on medium. That's just something that's stuck in my brain for some reason. I remember her playing that song on medium always. So that was a really fun game for me, and that's kind of what got me into music, honestly.
Oh, really?
Guitar Hero 3, yeah. I dig that. So like I've got a vinyl set. I have a collection of records, and a lot of the songs that I know I have on vinyl from Guitar Hero 3.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my number 4. What's your 3, baby?
My 3 is Just Cause 2. It's an old game. Apparently the Just Causes have gotten worse. I didn't play Just Cause 4 or 1, but I played 2 and 3. And it's very GTA before GTA was GTA 5. It's a really fun game with the story, but it's also a game that you could just turn on, steal a car, and just mess around for hours. The storyline is like you have to get kind of compete with different factions, and you take out like a corrupt leader. It's a third-person shooter, and the main part of the game is that you have a grappling hook. So you grapple to something, and then you can open your parachute whenever you want. So you kind of spend your time grappling and parachuting around the map, which is really fun. The map is huge, open world. And you can also take your grapple and connect it to something else. And so like I remember one time the craziest thing I did is you can steal like a 747. It's like a full-on passenger plane. There's no people inside. It's not like super dark, but you steal a plane, and you're in the plane, and you can grapple a 747 to that plane, and then take off with a 747 with another 747 grappled to it underneath, and just fly around before you crash. Like it's just you can grapple things to other things, and it's just the whole game is about chaos. You get points for the more chaos you cause. And it's just one of those games, just like GTA, where you can just mess around and do whatever for
That's
just
fun.
hours and never get bored, you know?
Ooh, I've got another honorable mention I just thought of.
I keep doing that. I have 4 honorable mentions now. We'll go through those really
I've got
quick. We won't
5.
talk about them too much.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just kind of list them off, spend like a minute or whatever.
Yeah.
But Just Cause 2, it's also a nostalgic game. It's one of the first games I played on my Xbox 360.
Okay.
Very, very fun.
Neat. Alright.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Pokemon Emerald, specifically Emerald.
Okay.
Because when I was in middle school, I had no games really. Middle school was when I got my first computer. I got like a first generation MacBook Pro, which isn't really a gaming computer if you think about it.
No, not really.
So I didn't think about it. I just played games on it. And I found an emulator for Pokemon Emerald. I think I actually found it on my iPhone. It was GBA for iOS. It was like some jailbroken version of an emulator because they didn't have any on the App Store.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I'd get to the same spot and my game would crash. And I'd have to restart. And I finally, last year, I got myself a Game Boy Advance and I bought myself Pokemon Emerald and I still have not beaten it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Kind of sad, but also my starter every time is Chikorita.
Interesting. That's not what I expected.
Yeah. Wait, Chikorita. No, Torchic. I'm dumb.
I was gonna say, I thought it would be one of the other two.
Yeah, no. It's Torchic. So, I don't think
That's
that's
fair.
Chikorita isn't even a starter.
No, that's Gen 2, isn't it?
I think that's Gen 2.
It's Trico in Gen 3.
Yeah. So I always pick Torchic, and I always name it Torch Dick, because I thought that was funny. I still think it's funny.
That's classy.
Yeah. Classic as well.
It is.
So yeah.
All right, we're getting to the tops here. Some of the greatest games of all time. XCOM is just one of my favorite all-time games. There's a couple of them, but I gotta go XCOM 2 as my favorite. It actually has the same mechanics as D&D. The more I think about it, it's crazy similar how close it is. But you play as a few characters. You are like the manager of these characters, basically. You are like a rebel organization trying to take down the aliens that have taken over Earth. And so there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that you have to do, but the main juice of the game is the combat, which is you get dropped into a location, you have a task. You might have to take out enemies, you might have to rescue civilians, or destroy an information relay or something like that. And so you drop down with anywhere from 4 to 6 characters on a battle map with a grid, and each character you control one at a time for a turn, and they have movement, an action, and a bonus action. And so they all have different classes too. There's like a ranger that can move really fast. There's a heavy which can shoot grenades, sniper, that kind of thing. And a character can move up to a certain amount. They can use their action to move again. They can take their action. You can shoot. There's a percentage of chance to hit based on where you're located. It really is straight on D&D mechanics, and it's super fun because you very strategically move your guys around the map, finding enemies, items, and completing your goal.
Yeah.
And it's very slow and calculated. Okay, do I want to take this shot with a 54% chance to hit? Or do I want to overwatch, so if he moves, I shoot at him automatically? Do I want to reload? It's just very strategic, and you upgrade your guys. They gain abilities, armor, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just very, very fun. There's a couple of games in the series, too.
Okay. I've never played an XCOM game. I haven't played any of the games that you've mentioned.
That's
sadly.
what I'm hoping. Is like we need to teach each other these incredible games, because XCOM is, it's just beautiful.
I had a buddy of mine in high school who played a lot of XCOM, and I remember watching him play once, and I didn't understand it. I can't remember what XCOM game it was, but he just kept playing it, and I was like, "What is that?" And he said, "It's XCOM," and I said, "Cool," and then I went home.
You gotta give it a shot. It's
I need
top
to, but they're
notch.
so expensive though.
Yeah, I think the old ones are like 20 now, and if they go on sale, they could be, pretty low. But
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for them for
yeah,
sure.
put them on your wish list.
All right, so
So
we're
number
into the
two.
number twos. So this is a game you showed me, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Now, there's a couple in this series as well. There's 3 now, finally. We haven't beaten the 3, and I think we need to. It's Borderlands, the Borderlands franchise.
Okay. Yep.
But specifically, out of the 3, 1 is my favorite. And it's
Really?
not the revamped version, the original Borderlands.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved it so much. It hooked me. You hooked me, man.
Borderlands is a top-notch game.
It is a looter shooter. Just got me. I love those kinds of games. The one where you just are constantly looking for new weapons to swap in and out. You've got a flow of stuff that you can swap and upgrade and all this kind of stuff. And then the missions are so funny. Oh,
It's got that game has a great sense of humor.
comedy gold class. But
It is.
Borderlands 1, I loved the GUI. I just loved how everything worked together. I vibed with it. I really vibed with it.
Fair. Borderlands
Yeah.
was going to be one of my honorable mentions,
Yeah.
but I actually would have picked 2. I think 2 is my favorite, just
Okay.
because the ease of life thing. So like instead of having to pick up every item, you can just run over them and auto pick them up.
Mhm.
Stuff like that is like game changing to me, but they're both very, very, very good.
Top notch. We need to replay those.
Those are
soon.
fun.
After
Those
we
are like
beat
those are like
3.
20-hour games usually, just not bad.
Oh, do you see the meme I sent you?
Which one?
It was the one about 2020. It was the Borderlands. It said now you can play in Vault Hunter mode. You
Yup.
go back through.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
yeah, Borderlands is cool because when you beat the game, you can then replay it with all of the enemies scaled up to your current level. So you can repeat all the first missions and first levels all the way up until the end with like
Yeah.
those crazy guns that you have, and you can do that over and over, and it gets harder and harder every time.
You can
which
just
is
keep
really
going.
cool. I
So
think
you
it's
can-
like 3 or 4 times. I think there's a max, but
There's gotta be. There's no way that you just keep on going. Because
yeah,
it gets hard to track your numbers at that point.
it's true.
Oh,
But
But
that's
yeah.
a great one.
Borderlands 1 for my number 2. And now,
All right, we'll go into the speed round of honorable mentions.
honorable mentions.
I'll just kind of explain what they are real quick. So my first one is Danganronpa, which is not like any other game I've played.
Okay.
I branch out into a lot of different genres. Danganronpa is like an anime-based detective game.
Yes.
Really cool mechanics, just great story. Just very enjoyable all throughout, very fun. One of my honorable mentions, Risk of Rain. We've talked about that. Very great game.
Yes.
Doom is another one. Doom is a ton of fun. I actually just bought Doom Eternal, but I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
If you are stressed, play Doom, because there's heavy metal music playing, and you just kill everything.
One of the developers
It's
was
just-
Mormon.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
That's
And-
awesome.
Someone asked him if it collided with his religion at all. He says, "You're literally killing demons. I don't know what's more religious than that."
Honestly, yeah, it's a great stress reliever, and it's just non-stop action.
Oh yeah.
And then my final honorable mention is Pokemon Diamond, because you brought up Pokemon, it reminded me. Pokemon Diamond is like my nostalgic game. I think I played Ruby, I'm pretty sure, but Diamond is really where it hit home. And so Diamond's probably like my most nostalgic Pokemon game, I gotta say.
Nice. Alright, so I came up with a pretty big list as well of honorable mentions. My first one is Starbound, which I'll group in with Terraria, which is also on my list here.
Okay.
So Starbound and Terraria are both side-scroller, platformer, survival games. Starbound, I like a little bit more than Terraria, even though there's not as much of a progression. It's just beautiful space, music, you go to different planets, you have your spaceship that you can upgrade and stuff. Just great games. Stardew Valley.
Okay.
I
Very
think is
similar art
multiplayer.
styles for all these. It is.
Yes,
It
it's
is.
very it's pixel art, all of it.
Mhm.
So Stardew Valley is actually multiplayer, so I think we should
It
play
is,
that
it is.
sometime. That's a fun one. Kerbal Space Program is
Really?
another really fun one. I would never build spaceships or do like the actual progression of the game. I would just go into creative mode and start building planes and flying them around. That was my favorite thing to do. Then Skate 3 on the Xbox 360
Really?
was, yeah, that's a game that me and my sister played a lot, and we'd just take turns going down hills and like trying to do crazy tricks and stuff. That was really fun. And then my final one is a game that is not yet made, but
Oh?
I think that we can do it, Trent. I brought
What's
it
that?
up to you a while ago. It's D&D Monopoly. So my concept for
Oh,
this
man.
is, imagine you are trying to build a property, or you're having to get onto somebody's property and you try to make a stealth check to get by them without having to pay rent, or you have to persuade someone to let you buy a property or trade property off of them, and you have to roll persuasion checks against each other. I love the idea of rolling dice. I told you this, I think, in the first episode. I love
It's
rolling
true.
dice. And I think D&D Monopoly would be the best dice rolling game other than Yahtzee.
That's a good point. It's
But
definitely a
D&D
way to take the
Monopoly,
D&D
yeah.
mechanics and move it around.
Yeah. And I mean, you've
That's
already
fun.
got a board. Like,
It's true.
it's a set area. You don't even have to make a map. It's just there.
It's completely true.
So D&D Monopoly is definitely a good idea in my
I love
eyes. All right, and now for the numero unos. Trent, what is it?
My number one game of all time is a single player game that takes about 12 hours. It is called Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
I have never heard of this.
And it's not a well-known game. But it was, when I originally thought of the idea of the top 5 games, I really only had one game in mind, and it was this one. I said, I'm sure I can find 4 other good games. But this game is so by far my favorite game of all time, it's not even funny.
See, like,
you-
I know everything, and I don't know this game.
It's so good. It's a third person, like, that's the only thing about it that's normal. It's third person. You play as this, like, I don't know, 18-year-old, like, Viking girl. I don't know how old she is, but she's this Viking girl.
Right.
And you kind of just, it's linear, but it's a mix of combat, puzzles, and story. So you have to, like, you enter a place to figure out what you have to do, how you move forward. The combat is all real time with blocking, dodging, and attacking. The combat is super smooth, feels fantastic, tons of fun, never gets old. There are boss fights that are, like, way harder, and puzzles to get to them. But there are 2 things about the game that are just immaculate, and one of them is what it's about. The story never actually makes sense, because the game takes place inside the head of somebody with psychosis. And so their version of reality is warped, and so you take the place of this Viking girl who this person thinks they are, but it's a person suffering with psychosis, so it's just this, like, mind warp of a idea, and it's super cool because this character, like, struggles with these thoughts, and then, like, the bosses are actually just the issues they face, and it's just this whole weird thing.
What a mind duck.
It really is, and the cream of the crop on this game is the mechanics that they bring in. So it's a third-person combat game with some puzzles and things, but they've done things that I've never seen done in any game before, and they did it multiple times in one game. So, for example, there's one part where it's almost pitch black, but you have to get somewhere. You have to follow a river, and you have to wear headphones, and you have to listen to where the water is, and as it gets like softer and louder, you know you're getting closer or farther away to the water, and you navigate following a river purely based on sound.
So the Viking is wearing headphones, right?
Well, yeah, sure. There's my favorite level was one where you have to go into this like building, and you have to go into it one way and get out the other side. But there's some sort of monster inside. When you enter the building, it is pitch black. And what I mean by pitch black is it looks like your monitor is off. There's no HUD, there's no text, it's just black.
Oh wow.
So you enter the building and you have to navigate it wherever the rooms are, wherever that is, and you have to get by the monsters that are in the room purely based on controller vibration. So as you move, your controller begins to vibrate as the footsteps of monsters get close to you. You physically feel the footsteps in the controller as they approach. So if they get closer, you stop. And you can feel them whatever side of the controller vibrates or whatever, you know where they are. So it's like, no game has done that, where you have to use purely your like haptic feedback to navigate a dark room. It's so like unique, and it's just like I've never forgotten so many things from that game.
Right.
And it's just like it was the most memorable game I've ever played. It really was
incredible.
like top notch. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've never heard of that game, but it sounds absolutely incredible.
It's so good.
Okay.
But all right, time for your number one game of all time.
My number one game of all time, I have 101.9 hours played on Steam. It is a multiplayer game. Now, the first iteration of this game was single player. Came out like when I was in middle school. Another one of those oldies but goodies.
Yeah.
And one of my good friends from middle school, his name was David, he showed me this game. And I remember spending the night over at his house, and he was like, hey, you gotta play this game. I'm gonna watch you and I'm gonna guide you how to play it. It's like, what in the world is it? He said, your object is to not starve. The game is called Don't Starve, but specifically the game that I'm choosing for my number one is Don't Starve Together, which is just the multiplayer version. I played a lot of Don't Starve by myself on my old computer because it's such a fun little game. I love the art style so much. It's very Tim Burton feel. The music is incredible. It's one of those, I don't even know what kind of perspective it is. I would call it 2.5.
Huh.
Because it's not a side scroller, but it's not 3D, but you can go north, south, east, and west. So I guess like Paper Mario, which I've never played.
Yeah, it's kind of like Stardew Valley in a way, where you can move kind of all around.
Yes.
But it's still
like
2D.
Yes. 2D sprites on a 3D plane.
Because I've seen Don't Starve, but I've never played myself, but I've seen it played a little bit here and there.
I would highly recommend you get it, because being a very simplistic game, it gets really complicated super fast. It's all about boss battles, it's about surviving through winter and all the different seasons. You start off in fall, you then have to survive winter and then beat a monster. You then have to go through spring and beat another big monster, and then just continuously throughout the seasons fight different bosses at the end of the season. And the items you get from those bosses help you progress and help you guard against the next season. So like during winter you're fighting the cold, during the spring you're fighting wetness, which like makes you drop items and slip around and stuff. And then the summer you have to fight off heat, and then autumn is the only peaceful time because there's no negative effects. It's kind of like your little break but it is the first game that I played with my sister, and she got really good at it. I bought her the game a while ago, and we just played a lot of it. And I bought it for Lily. She's played a lot of it with me. We've made it to spring, I think. It's a super hard game. Like I said, I haven't really played all that much. I played a little over 100 hours. But it is such a fun game. I highly recommend you get it and play with us, because I think we'd vibe like hard.
It seems I think I dig it.
Yeah, you've got all these kind of different characters that you can play as that have different buffs and debuffs. There's the basic guy Wilson. He grows a beard. That's what he does, and he's got normal stats. There's a girl who is a pyromaniac. I forget, another big proponent of the game is that there are 3 health meters. You've got your life, you've got your hunger, and you've got your sanity. And now your sanity goes down like when you're in the dark. If your character is, allergic to the dark. I'll say allergic, not being the right word. But some things tick off some characters more than others. So if your sanity drops all the way down, you'll see all these shadow monsters that'll kill you. But at some points in the game, it's like required for you to get to that level so that you can get certain items. So it's such an interesting game. You absolutely need to play it, and I recommend anybody get the game at least to fiddle around with, because it is a perfect survival game. That's super.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys were thinking about getting any of these games on these lists, do it. I mean, these are some of the best games around.
Yeah.
Especially our number 1s and number 2s. I mean, they are just fantastic.
Oh, for sure. And let us know what your favorite game of all time is. Just let us know. Hit us up on Instagram. Trent is TrentBriggs3.
Yep.
On Instagram, I am the.nature.child on Instagram. We're working on making an Instagram page for the podcast, so we'll plug that once we're ready for it.
Yeah, we got 2 things in the works. One, like an Instagram page, be kind of fun, and then ideally this would turn into a video podcast.
Hopefully so.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna post pictures of this jacket.
Oh, we should absolutely post pictures of the gifts. It's fun stuff.
So much fun. Oh.
But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you if you stuck with us for 50 minutes plus. Listening to us ramble about our favorite games. Easily could have been 4.5 hours.
Easily.
But yeah, let us know what your favorite game is. If you've played the ones we have, you've even heard of them, Hellblade,
Give us some recommendations to play.
Boom. As if my folder of games I want to play but don't have time isn't big enough.
I know. No, I'm just trying to make you sad, Trent. That's all I'm trying to do.
Right? I need to get to it.
Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We will see you next week with episode 6. We're almost at 7. We're getting close.
Almost there?
We're getting close.
Alright, everybody. Peace.
Peace.